Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Sprocket. Today more tanks and of course more tank design, as that's the core of the game. I'm going to be doing the railway scenario, skipping over the Silent Border because I don't really enjoy the night battle that you have there. I haven't played the railway yet, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect. We are in early war. That is interesting. Let's try and make something that is not too long, maybe fairly tall, and capable of, well, winning the battle, but I'm not exactly sure what that entails yet. So I'm going to make it a bit taller, but far less big. And then maybe a bit less wide. There. It's going to be a cute little tank at this rate. I have still a little bit of internal space. How are we doing for mobility? That is pretty important. I am at a mere 3.3 kilowatts per ton. That is not a whole lot. What I can do is remove a whole bunch of fuel, because I basically don't have to go anywhere. Let's set that to 150. And that means that I have more space to increase the engine size. So let's set that to... there we go. I like my tanks powerful and maneuverable. When it comes to the turret, I want to make sure that I have a decent gun on it. Fairly well armored turrets, and considering that the tank is somewhat on the high end, I want to make sure it is capable of depressing the gun. Because hitting lower glacis, of course, is ideal in most situations. Oh, sorry, that's not the turret. This is the turret. When we're to the shape, I'd say the position is not terrible. It's fairly far forward, but that should be doable. Let's see. I think considering the current turret shape, this is probably ideal. This means I do not yet have a gunner sight. If I go for a different gun mount, I think this gun mount does come with a gunnery sight. Yeah, that comes with a gunner sight. It doesn't quite seem to fit. I mean, yes, you can put it on there, but I would also like it to look a little better. So turret shape, forward width, forward width. Where was that again? That's the forward offset. The hell? Yeah, here. Okay. When it comes to the angle, the forward side, of course, is usually going to be on the receiving end of most of the damage. Is this thing... is it centered or not? Now it is. That's better. Okay. I do need a bit more room in this turret. And considering how much space I have on the rest of the hull, I can probably push this thing slightly farther back. So, back to base. Turret. The midsection, we're going to increase the length a little. And I'm going to push it further back. That way also giving me a bit more space. Angle's not that critical. Can just make the turret a bit wider. And I can make it a bit longer. That's a fairly fat turret at this rate. Angle the cheeks a bit more to benefit from all that slanted armor. There. Okay. It's a chunky turret at this rate. It's a really chunky turret. When it comes to the back, I still want to angle the cheeks. And can I make the whole thing a bit less tall? Height. Yeah, I can. Let's also do that for the front. I don't want to have this thing stick out too much. Okay, when it comes to the firepower itself, it is early war. I probably don't need anything enormous on this gun. I think a 76 or a 90mm gun or something like that, or at least in that ballpark, should do it. Penetration is 73mm. If I can get that up to about 90, I think that'd be great, but I'm not sure if I can actually make that work. It looks like 77 is about where it falls off. If I give it a bit more length, that barrel, I can get quite a decent amount of pen. We're at 86. Damage is 812. Go a bit higher. Now we got 100 millimeters of pen. That, I hope, is enough to deal with pretty much anything. We shall see if that's actually true. Livery. Camo. I'm not sure if you're ever going to blend in with this terrain, considering it's so freaking flat, but we'll just have to make do. Crew. I'm going to need a viewport for the commander. I'm going to need a viewport for the driver. He's going to sit right down there. We already have a gunnery viewport, so I have all the essentials. But what I do not yet have on this thing is armor. Especially on the turret, this is going to be pretty critical, because I'm looking at 10 millimeters. Yeah. Let's do a bit more than that, shall we? Let's make that 60 millimeters on the front. Well, the front of the turret doesn't really need it, considering the gun mantle is probably going to take it. The cheeks could do with a bit more. 40 millimeter means I have effectively 70-ish. If I go to 50 millimeters, I'm now at an effective, at least frontal armor of 80-ish. I don't expect the roof to get hit at all. The sides do need more protection. Let's set the sides to 60 millimeters, because there is the risk that I'm going to get shot at the side of the turret. And I also want to improve the cheek armor and the rear armor a bit more. Let's set that to 30 and 30. The roof, again, not terribly important, I think. The lower hull still has a lot of displacement available, and I can probably use that. Let's see, can I first make that front strip a bit less obvious? I might also need to raise the whole tank, because my terrain clearance isn't that good. I can probably do better. And with all that additional space, I can make this front glacis a lot more sloped. There. I can potentially also do that for the sides. There. Not terrible, I think. Okay. Front, 100 millimeters. That, considering what I'm facing, is probably a bit much. Thickness is 60 over here. We have 100 over there. I'm going to reduce that to 60. Lower glacis. It's 70 millimeter, but it's not very heavily sloped. I can still fix that. That, I believe, is the front... Here, lower glacis. I can still slope that. Let's set that to 50 degrees. And now my armor should be a whole lot better. At least my effective armor. Yeah, there we go. Now we're effectively 129. This front strip, however, needs work. That front strip is vulnerable. And it weighs almost nothing. So I can pretty heavily armor that. Let's set that to 70 millimeters. Side of the tank currently has an upper armor of 75 and a lower armor of 50. I think that's not terrible. I could potentially create more space in the hull if I drag this thing backwards and make the rear, what do you call that, the rear glacis pretty heavily sloped, but in reverse. So a negative 45 degree angle. Because then I might also be able to install some vents over there. And also get a bit more space on the turret. So let's say that I want to have the rear extend a bit further. Because I still need to create a bit more space. Midsection, length increase. There we are. It's a pretty unsightly vehicle with that little weird bulge on the back. But hopefully it'll perform. Now, when it comes to the mobility, I still might need to adjust the height of the vehicle. I still have some room. So I suppose I could improve the power output some more by going with an 8-cylinder engine. That's 10. 11.4. I can't quite get that. 14.6. This thing should be very mobile. Transmission, let's adjust that. Adjust that. Fuel, as mentioned. Fenders are alright. They're a bit wide. Let's make them slightly less so. And when it comes to the suspension, so the tracks, let's see, I currently have this type of suspension. Should be pretty easy to increase the diameter of the road wheels and thereby increase the altitude or increase the ground clearance. The sprocket here on the front, yeah, I do want to keep it that far forward. I also want to make it a bit higher. And the one on the back, the idler, that's far enough forward. Pull that up. There. Okay. Anything else I need for the crew? Maybe some stowages. Maybe some additional... Where do you find that again? Additional fuel tanks. External fuel tanks. I suppose I can put those there. Hopefully they will not blow up. They will provide a little bit more fuel. That's 90 liters of external fuel and 150 internal. I don't expect this thing to go for any serious amounts of distance. Over 100 kilometers... No, sorry, with 150 liters, I can do 49 kilometers. I'm not going to get anywhere, am I? If I make these things bigger, it gives me a bit more fuel. 150 internal, 163 external. That should be fine. So that is a little over 300 liters, allowing me to go, well, double that, of course, about 100 kilometers, give or take. RPM, I'm going to set this slightly lower, 2310, so we still have a slight buffer zone. And at 2300, I can get 16.5 kilowatt per ton. So I do expect this thing to be zipping around the battlefield very quickly. Now, when it comes to the length of the track, I haven't really figured out how much of an impact this has. Same for the thickness. I mean, you can make these really, really thick, but I'm not sure how that's going to impact the performance of them, aside from lifting you further off the ground. But considering that the track might be a lot heavier that way, I think it is less than ideal. Now, we need a good name for this. I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments. What is this thing called? Because I'm not sure yet. I am going to only get 2 of these. So this is something we'll have to address potentially later by making it maybe even smaller. As I might run into trouble with the amount of enemies / the amount of allies that I have. Let's put a nice log on the back in case we get stuck. I'll have some equipment sitting here on the side of the tank. Not exactly sure what that is. Is that a loading hatch of some sort? Some more equipment on the other side. I can have an antenna over here on the back. And a viewport. We had those. Stowages for additional, I don't know, gear of some sort. Could have those on the turret cheeks, but I imagine they might not be ideal on the turret cheeks. I imagine having them here would make slightly more sense, because they're easier to reach there. Lights, we can put those over there on the fenders, and I think that's about it. I could put probably a... 2 of them might be a bit much. Just the one. There. So we also have an anti-infantry bulb. Now, that should do it, I think. Maybe some more paint. A couple of decals. What was that again? Select it. Select it with right click and then change it. There we go. Just make it a bit smaller. Star on the side. Both sides, ideally. There we go. Alright, My little 32-ton tank is ready. Let's begin. Ooh, RPM is way high. My RPM is 4,500, 5,000. This is already killing the engine. I need to adjust this a lot. We're going to put that a lot lower. RPM 2300, 24, 25, 23,000. In 8. Transmission still too high. So let's reduce this a bit more. For some reason I suddenly have 3 allies instead of 2. Oh, there's the rail line. Where's the enemy at? Contacts. Bit low. Got one. Next. Yep, Allied took him out. Another one over there. Nope. Somebody else might have gotten him. I'm not sure. Oh, I lost one. Who did that, though? This guy? Bounced. Damn, is that a tiger? Tiger-ish? Time to use that mobility of ours. Get going. Can we track him? Nope. Got him. Victory. So that was pretty quick. That was the Mark 17 Man of War. That was a very, very swift 17-minute mission. Most of the time designing the tank. Oh. It's not like we can maneuver over this obstacle, though. There we go. That does it. It looks like this ally is still functional. That one, probably not so much. You alive? No, he's not moving. The Man of War, the tiger, did take out one of my allies. So it's unsurprising that this thing lost. Okay then. Time to go and try this again with a different design. For the second part, I decided to go with a couple of viewer designs. I'm going to be using 3 different designs. I'm basically picking these at random. I have a ton of messages, I think about 100 plus emails at this point. Many with different designs added to them, so I probably have 150 to 200 designs waiting for me to check. You might recognize your design, you might not. It depends on whether they're suitable for this mission. The first one I'm checking out is the Grasshopper Mk3. This one was sent in by DeathPuff12. It seems like a nice, cute little vehicle. And I am only running 13 tons on this, 13.85 tons, versus my monstrosity from just a moment ago, which was, what, 40 tons or something? She was a big girl. That was the... Yeah, this one. Sorry, 29 tons. 29.2 tons. So this thing is less than half. I like the design. Fuel tanks on the back. Nice high ground clearance. Let's see what sort of a gun we have on here. A 57mm gun with 79mm of penetration, good muzzle velocity. Damage is somewhat on the lower end, but then again, this is early war. Max gun depression, 9.22. Elevation rate is very good. Turret rotation speed. That's something I would like to know. How quickly can we swing that turret around? Where was that? Here, 24.7 degrees per second. So this thing is very snappy. I get 6 of these. Let's see if the Grasshopper Mk3 can complete the mission. All my allies are in one nice line. I wonder if the AI also gets different designs. RPM is really good. Speed is fantastic. I love this little thing. Multiple contacts ahead. Allies are opening up. Contact there. Reload's pretty good. It does seem like these things, considering they're so light and fast, might not have a whole bunch of armor. And I think maneuverability is going to be critical to get a good shot at them. Oh wow, they took out the Mark 17 Man of War, the Tiger. That's impressive. A whole bunch of them coming up. The H2 rotor is taking out a lot of my allies here. Let's see if we can sort of sneak up on this guy. Sneak up, we can. Can you rotate your turret fast enough? Because I can, I just can't kill you. Well, he seems to have some engine problems. That's him down. Is this one? Whoa! That one was definitely alive. These larger tank battles are definitely fun. Whoa! Calm down. This thing has taken a lot of damage so far. I think I have been immobilized. Got him. Right off the turret. Doink. This tank can only take so much. Where... What am I getting stuck on? Uh-oh. Now my ammo's cooked. Too high. Nope. Keep bouncing off. I need to potentially hit him in the lower hull. Reloading is definitely taking longer now. Way longer. Got him! So, the Grasshopper Mk3 won. Next up is the R55 VPK sent in by Faithknight. This tank reminds me a little bit of the, I don't know, the T-34, but also it has some French inspiration. Very narrow tracks, lots of ground clearance. When it comes to engine power, we seem to have plenty. We have 17.6 kilowatts per ton, so this thing is definitely powerful. When it comes to armor, though, you get 60 millimeters effective on the front of the turret. The turret ring is 56. The turret top, or turret, well, turret front is effectively 25. I wonder if this one's going to survive. We get a pretty good upper glacis. So between 120 and 90. Lower glacis is 70 to, well, what is that, 56? And that's including the front strip. 270. We'll have to make do. The gun is an 85mm gun with almost 90mm penetration, 975 damage, 3 fragments. Elevation rate, unfortunately, is not good enough. So I'm going to have to tamper with this tank a little bit and probably make the barrel a little less long because, well, this tank is simply not able to elevate the gun, which is something that would be nice on, well, any mission. It is possible that this tank is not really designed for early war warfare, but we'll just have to see. Okay, I get 3 of these, the R55s. I kind of cut off a bit of their turret, or sorry, a bit of their barrel, which might impact the way that the tank handles, but we'll just have to hope and see that this thing does well enough. What was that? Oh, Cromwells are taking me out every which way. Doink. Dead. It's a bit light on the armor department. Considering that I have so much internal space, I'm going to buff that. Because I think that the tank might be able to do it if it has more armor. So let's push this to 75, the middle to 75, front strip to 70, lower to 75. I'm also going to adjust the turret, because I think the turret's a bit light. Considering the threats that I'm up against, and the way that this thing is, well, not really angled, or not really heavily armored, it is probably seriously threatened. It's very much at risk here. The turret ring, let's push that to 75, 76 millimeters. Traverse rate's 8 per second. Let's see if this tank can do better now. I really like the design. Looks good. Contact right. Missed. Bounced off. That's already better than last time. Keep it moving. Got one. That's one of the Cromwells out of commission. That's the second Cromwell out of commission. There's one up ahead, far. Whoa! Not bad. You still appear to be active. Yes, expose that lower hull. There we go, victory. With a bit of work, these R55 VPKs can definitely do the job. We just needed a bit more armor. Okay, on to the next and last vehicle. Last design I'm checking out is this one. It reminds me of a tank destroyer by the French, or, well, basically any tank destroyer, except that it has, I think, a fixed turret on the top. Actually, no, it's not even a fixed turret. It is a standard turret, but it comes with a couple of machine guns. This is the Black Lancer by Torsk 1007. It's a big tank. It has 40 tons of displacement. Rotation of the gun is going to be done by simply turning the tracks. Let's see if this thing has enough armor to deal with it. The turret, at least, is very heavily armored at 140 millimeters. The hull, 130, 200 plus. Yeah, it's very heavily meant to go front in, because side armor is much less and rear is even worse. What sort of a gun does this thing have? It has an 85 mil, 88.6 millimeters of pen, 956 damage. That's pretty good. Elevation rate could be a problem here. And since this is early war, I don't really have an ability to adjust it that much. To boost it a little bit, I'm going to reduce the length of the barrel slightly, because 1 degree is difficult. Let's put the Black Lancer to the test. Look at that, the turret's rotating. It's a really interesting design. It's gonna stick out like holy hell on this map though. Okay, we have the tanks in the distance. Gun sight right next to the gun. I like it. Contact. Oh, getting this thing on target is going to be difficult. One down. Bounced off. Ooh. Too low. It's difficult to get this gun on target. I like the tanks, the vehicles, which have a design where you have to just rotate the whole hull, but it does not make it very comfortable to use the tank. Because you're tapping A and D is, well, it's feasible, but it's not easy to work with. Come on. Bounced off. Is that a Cromwell? Bounced off again. I need to go higher. Nope. No, that's more of a Tiger than a Cromwell. Lower, lower, lower. Bounced off? Well, that's problematic. Oh, hello. Tunnel vision. Turn. Acquire. What? Is that serious? Oh, geez, there's more of them. My engine has been hit. That's one down. This tank is taking a lot of abuse. Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus, they're all here. Go away. Uh-oh, now my engine's properly fried. I might be able to look intimidating and turn the turret their way, but that's about all I can do. Unless this dummy parks itself in front of me. In which case I might still have a chance. No, everything's cooked on this tank. But that's just the one. Down. That's the... Yeah, there you were. Bounced. What a mess, this one. What a mess. Bounce. Where's your weak spot? Where can I actually damage this thing? Nope. Go on, show me your side. Well, that's going to help a little bit, tracking it. Unfortunately, I'm blowing up my own engine at this rate. Because my RPM's too high, or was too high. Come on, right through the side. Go, 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 go. Elevate that gun. Quick, 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 quick. No? Maybe I hit his engine, though. Finally. Okay, so the Black Lancer can do it. Torsk made an interesting design, and it worked. It looks very aggressive. I like it. Alright, so my design worked. After a little bit of tinkering, all the other designs worked as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have more designs to send in, well, until we have workshop support, just send them to my email address, which is stealth@stealth17gaming.com. Linked down below in the description as well. I hope you guys had fun. Let me know what you thought of the designs, and I'll see you soon for more Sprocket videos.